your boys, the Dallas Mavericks, against one of my other favorite teams and one of my new favorite teams in the Minnesota Timberwolves. They face off in the Western Conference Finals. Now, this is going to be one hell of a series. But, Chris, I start off and ask you the question, who wins and in how many games?
I'll start with this. I don't think people realize how much of a dogfight this is going to be.
Oh, my God.
Because I don't think people really, truly understand how, I'm not even going to say good, how gritty the Dallas Mavericks defense is.
Amazing.
I don't even want to say good or amazing. I'm going to leave those words out.
Dogs.
Right, how gritty they are. And obviously Minnesota, it goes without saying. Like, we all know that by this point. So I think this is going to be the nitty-gritty, the nittiest of the gritties, actually. I think, P.J. Washington and Anthony Edwards will be jawing at each other a few times throughout the course of this series.
And Luka.
I think Luka and Jaden McDaniels are going to be jawing at each other a few times throughout the series. Shit, I think Rudy Gobert and Daniel Gafford might even get into it a little bit. Cat,
no, we'll see about
after all that. But yeah, so I'll start with that.
This is what movies is made of, though.
Yeah, it really is.
This is what movies is made of.
But I'll start with that. I am so excited for this shit. I think it's gonna have that early 2000s feel.
We're getting 85 games with 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's gonna have that feel. We're gonna have Ant and Luka. We're gonna have games where their field goal percentage sucks in this series, like a 6 for 24 game or whatever the case may be. Like these are some elite defenders on both sides. Yeah. Derrick Jones Jr. is an elite defender. P.J. Washington is an elite defender. Crazy enough. Jaden McDaniels doesn't need to be said. Rudy Gobert, we know. So
he called you average.
I think this series may simply come down to which number 2 option, not even is the better player, is more consistent between Karl Towns and Kyrie Irving. And because I don't want to evaluate the series like this, but I think Luka and Ant kind of cancel each other out. Rudy, I guess, is definitely better than the Mavericks bigs in terms of his impact, but the Mavericks bigs as a collective, they impact the game in similar ways.
But my thing with this is, I think, interestingly enough, you now give Rudy Gobert the luxury to play the role that he's most comfortable with. Granted, he was able to do that to an extent, but you were facing off against, what was it? You have Nikola Jokic, who you have to guard a lot of the time because he's one of the best players in the league and a big man. You're not going to be required to step out on anybody that's going to be shooters unless they try to get you in the pick and roll, which I'm sure they will do a whole bunch.
He's going to have to guard. If they want him to roam, he's going to have to guard PJ or Derrick Jones Jr.
Which I'm not sure exactly what.
The way they've been shooting the ball, you don't really want that. That's going to be...
That is the key.
That's the opening strategy. The opening strategy is going to be Jaden on Luka. Ant will probably be on Kyrie.
You already said it.
Yeah, Ant will probably be on Kyrie.
Cat maybe takes the Daniel Gafford assignment to start just because they're going to want to go to the pick and roll. But I don't know, because PJ's been a bucket so far these playoffs.
Ant might not be able to guard Kyrie. Ant might have to guard. No, not even like that. In schematically wise, he might have to guard. Who the fuck's Conley going to guard? Yeah. Can't put Conley on PJ Washington.
You're putting him on Derrick Jones Jr.
And you're living with that?
Yes. You're living with the results. You're not going to have a Derrick Jones Jr. post.
Yeah, that'll probably be the start. And then if he just starts cooking, they'll make adjustments.
And I mean, Conley's a dog of a defender, too.
For sure. The big size disparity, though.
Yes.
Huge.
I mean, if he has to guard Kyrie, I'm sure he will do his damnedest to do so. But you definitely want the size of Anthony. No doubt about it. Anthony Edwards even said it in the post-game presser. He said, my assignment is Kyrie. That is what I'm going to do.
Both teams in terms of defensively match up with each other really well.
Yep.
The Mavericks have some guys to throw at Anthony Edwards, to make the Timberwolves have to work for everything. Guys that, honestly, the Nuggets didn't really have.
Yes.
Aaron Gordon's great. He's not the caliber of perimeter defender by himself that the duo of Derrick Jones and P.J. Washington is objectively.
Yeah, you're right.
There's 2 of them and 1 of him.
Yes.
So it's really simple math.
Yes.
So Anthony Edwards, it's going to be tougher for him in this one. And it was tough as fuck for him in Denver. That shit wasn't easy for him. Obviously, he made it look easy at times. But I think that Luka's going to have a big series in this one. I know Jaden McDaniels is that guy, but I think Minnesota's scheme is going to let Luka play one-on-one a lot more. It's not going to... OKC didn't trust Lou Dort against Luka. That's why it was 3 bodies every time he got an inch inside the three-point line. Minnesota trusts Jaden McDaniels to play one-on-one.
I'll be honest, I don't think there's a better guy that's suited
for sure.
to do this.
For sure. And until Luka makes them have to adjust, I would assume that's going to be the game plan, is to stay glued to everyone else and make Luka beat you.
And I mean, you're going to switch a bunch too, I would assume.
Yeah.
I do think that they're not going to be opposed to having Cat guard Luka on certain possessions if the switch comes. I don't know about Rudy, but to be fair, Rudy did phenomenal in that Sun series in doing so.
Yeah, but
Luka's a different beast. Yeah. We'll see how that goes.
I mean,
I think it comes down, and you said it comes down to Cat. Because Cat is the swing factor on offense for this team. Realistically, P.J. Washington, great defender. Do not get me wrong, but there's a clear size advantage there. 6'7" in P.J., 6'11", 250, 260 for Cat, around 230 for P.J., who's built well, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but regardless, you have to go at that. And if you put Derek Jones on him, you got to go at it. Yeah. So Cat in Game 7 was a far more aggressive version of himself, going at people that he should be going at. And I think that's pretty much the swing factor in this series. Naz Reid is going to have to be huge off the bench. And then, of course, Mike Conley, just the steady veteran hand. So
yeah, I think things will get really interesting, too, with how these teams utilize their bench, especially the Timberwolves, like when the Timberwolves come out there with the Cat Naz Reid lineup, like Daniel Gafford can't be on the floor.
Nope.
And how will your other best option?
You really need Maxey back. Maxey Kleber needs to be back.
I was going to get to that
Sorry
one. That's the key. That's the key. If Maxey Kleber was guaranteed to be back, I'd pick the Mavs in 6, like, without even thinking about it. I'm probably still going to take the Mavs in 6, but I'm going to think about it now. I'm still thinking about it, actually. Yeah, I think when Naz Reid comes in, it's going to be very interesting how Dallas tries to guard that, because because Maxey was out this last series, they've been having a big on the floor at all times, and their bigs aren't really cut for guarding on the perimeter like that. So I think things will get very interesting with the Cat Naz Reid lineups. Those might honestly be the Timberwolves' best lineups in these series. I know Rudy's who he is, but I don't think Rudy's as important in this specific series. Luka, for as much as Luka gets to the rim, Luka's a jump shooter. Kyrie gets to the rim, but Kyrie is a jump shooter. When those guys are shooting step-back jump shots, what the fuck is Rudy going to do under the paint?
But the interesting thing about Rudy in this series is, and honestly the Mavs bigs too, they allow each other to play the way they are comfortable.
Yeah.
Like Rudy gets to now guard a legit big man, and Derek Lively gets to guard a legit big man, not a Chet Holmgren where he has to worry about being on the perimeter. And I think as the lob threats, Rudy Gobert is very good at taking that away. Very good at taking that away. And that's huge for them in this series as well, because both of them love to throw the lob. So I think that's interesting as well.
Like you said, there's really things to like on both sides about how this matches up. Obviously, if I'm the Mavericks, I'm not too happy about playing. I'm not licking my chops about playing the team that's been playing the best basketball of the postseason. If I'm the Timberwolves, I'm probably feeling the same way in terms of I have to play Luka Doncic right now. No team is excited, but there are a shit ton, like,
both teams feel good.
Going into the Nuggets series, I thought there was nothing to like for the Timberwolves. I thought the Nuggets were just going to expose them as frauds, honestly. A lot of people thought that. But, like, going into this one, and especially given what we just saw last series, like, there's a lot of things to like about the way the Timberwolves match up here.
Yep.
And the same thing goes with the Mavericks. Like I said, if Luka is going to see single coverage with Jaden McDaniels, I respect Jaden McDaniels. Should have been an All-NBA defensive first teamer this year, but that's like, I'm licking my lips at that if I'm Luka Doncic. I don't care. Like, that's collard greens, candy yams, the whole nine.
Shout out to Sleazy's collard greens, man.
I mean, so like I said, if it's lazy analysis, it's lazy analysis, but really comes down to who plays better between Karl Towns and Kyrie Irving, and who gives you more consistent games, who could be great for 3 to 4 games and really swing this series. I'm going to put my chips in Kyrie's basket and hope he comes through. Mavs in 6.
Okay, so
I also do think, I'll end with this before you go. For as much as we just praised Anthony Edwards' defense and how great he is for the way he guarded Jamal Murray, Kyrie Irving is not no Jamal Murray. And I'll leave it at that.
So, Kyrie was relatively quiet in that Thunder series too. And I think, obviously, that's just a byproduct of him being the second guy to Luka Doncic and deferring a lot of the time. And he was a great playmaker and a great defender in that series too. That needs to be stated. I also have this in 6, but I have it with the Minnesota Timberwolves. I will say, if Maxi Kleber is guaranteed full health for this series, I think he actually buys the Mavs a game, and I think it's Timberwolves in 7. I think he is that important in this specific series, as you stated before.
I don't think he's going to be healthy, though.
But I think either way, I think it's the Timberwolves in this one. And I just think it's because they have more guys to throw at Luka than anyone else in the entire NBA. And I just think it's that simple. I think they're going to wear him down. He's already dealing with ailments and injuries.
I just don't think that shit matters. Sorry to interrupt you.
I think it does.
Having a guy like Luka, I don't care that you have guys to throw on him for single coverage. I care about the way, like how OKC did when they win. I care about the way you're going to deploy. And I'm sure the Timberwolves are going to do a great job at this. They're one of the best defensive teams in basketball.
That's what I was going to say.
I agree with that. I'm just saying, I don't think having a Jaden McDaniels, I don't think it really matters as much as people think.
But I think they're going to switch it up. That's the thing. They're going to make life as difficult as possible for Luka for 3.5 quarters. And then in the fourth, you're kind of relying on, did we wear him out as much as entirely possible during this game, to where he kind of fades a little down the stretch. And yes, they have Kyrie Irving too. And that's where it boils down, as you said. It comes down to Cat versus Kyrie Irving in a weird way. But yeah, and I'm not saying that I think Karl Anthony Towns is the better basketball player than Kyrie Irving, but I am saying that this Minnesota Timberwolves defense is historic, and the run does not stop now.
The Timberwolves also have, like we're saying, we agree that it comes down to kind of Kyrie versus Karl Towns.
I think the rest of their supporting pieces are also better.
Right, the Timberwolves have more of a chance if Karl Towns doesn't come through than the Mavs would have if Kyrie doesn't.
We have a Naz Reid who's very similar to Karl Anthony Towns. Like, Jaden has given you 20-point performance. It comes down to, I look at it like, how many games can your role players buy you in the playoffs? Because obviously you expect your stars to come through. It's in each playoff series, it's can these role players buy me a few games? And you get that out of Naz Reid in a game 7. That's the Naz Reid game now. That's the Jaden McDaniels game right there. So I think it really does boil down to your role players, and Derek Jones Jr. and PJ Washington have been phenomenal. But I think there's more guys on the T-Wolves side of things that can affect and win a game for you effectively than there are on the Mavs side.
I will say, too, Timberwolves don't want to fuck around and lose home court in this.
No.
You have to, like, I know a lot of times, like, we'd say, like, all right, it's okay. You split at home. Take care, just split on the road. Like, it's okay. Jason Kidd's never won a game 1 in his career, so we could already chalk that up as a Timberwolves win, but I think
his adjustments, by the way.
Yeah, you got to go.
Awesome.
You got to go. He's been incredible.
He's been
incredible, but you got to go up 2-0 on this team because, like you said, he'll adjust and he'll figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, Finch, too, though.
Yeah, no,
awesome.
They've been incredible, both of them.
Finch is amazing, too.
I think for the Timberwolves, you got to take care of home court.
Yes.
Got to take care of it.
But OKC took one from Dallas there in that crib, too, I think, so.
No, yeah, I'm not saying it because Dallas is guaranteed to win at home. I'm saying because Dallas has been here Luka has been here every single time he's been in the playoffs, losing game 1 on the road and then taking game 2 on the road.
Yep.
So, like, you don't want that to happen.
No, don't let it.
Because
if you go up 2-0 in a Dallas.
Right, if you split, like, the series changes.
Yes.
If the Mavs are able to get a closeout game 6 at home, like, that changes everything. Changes everything.
You go up 2-0, and now you're planting a few seeds of doubt in there a little bit, too. It's important.
Right,
I mean,
yeah.
I know you're supposed to go do that, but anytime a team goes down 0-2, the levels of desperation start to rise and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
I think you can't give Luka Doncic any hope. Going back to Dallas after 2 games, you can't give him any hope.
So final prediction, you have Mavs in 6? Or are we?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Mavs in 6. I think they do it at home.
I'm taking the T-Wolves in 6 in this one. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna be real fun.